about, you want to share these, please feel free. We enjoy doing them. I'd like to tell you a story today. I can't even remember where I heard this story, but it's a really good story. It's funny. We need some fun once in a while. We need to be a little more lighthearted sometimes. But this is a story about an old man and a little boy, and they had a mule, and the mule's name was Heine. Well, the old man one day is going to take Heine in to sell him. It's the only thing he's really got of any value. He doesn't have any money. He can't pay his bills. So he thinks, well, I'll tell you what, I'll just take Heine into town to the sale, and I'll sell Heine, and then we'll have some money to do what needs to be. Well, he starts down the road. He lives at the head of the holler. Now, the holler, I don't know if some of you know what a holler is. That's not a holler. A holler is a place up in between two mountains where people live. And he's up there at the head of the holler. That's the end of it. That's as far as you can go. Well, he's got to walk a long way to get to town. So he gets Heine hitched up a little bit, and he's got a rope. And he starts pulling Heine, behind him. He's leading him. And he's got the little boy with him. And he gets down the holler just a little bit, and there's some old men sitting there eating cheese and crackers and playing checkers. And as old men will do, they said, look at that old crazy man. Said, he's going to walk him and that little boy to death, and he got that perfectly good mule sitting there. Ought to at least, one of them ought to at least ride the mule. So the old man don't want to look like a fool in front of these old men. So he takes the little boy, and he sets him up on the back of Heine the mule, and they go down the road. Well, he gets a little bit further down the road, and he gets to the house of Bertha Better Than You. And she goes to the First Self-Righteous Church in the sleepy little town of Pascagoula. That's a great song from the Squirrel Revival. But she says, look at that mean little boy. Look at that mean little boy. Just making that poor old man walk his feet to the bone. I can't believe that mean little boy. Well, the old man thinks, well, I don't want the little boy to look mean, and people think he's mean. So he gets the boy off, and he jumps up onto the back of Heine the mule, and they keep going down the road. Well, he gets down the road just a little bit further. And there's another set of people sitting there. And they say, look at that mean old man making that poor little boy walk his little feet to the bone. Going to town like ain't he a mean old man. So the old man thinks, well, boy, I don't want to be seen as mean. I don't want the boy to say. So he gets the little boy and he puts him up on top of Heine. And they both ride Heine down the road where he gets to another bunch. And they're sitting there, and they look at him, and they say, look at that old man and that old boy. They're going to walk that old mule to death before they even get into town. There ain't going to be nothing left of that old mule by the time they get to town. So the old man doesn't want to seem to be walking the mule to death. So he and the little boy get off the mule's back, and he goes a little bit further, and then some people look, but man, isn't that crazy? They killing that mule. They walking that mule to death. So what they end up doing is him and the little boy get under the mule, and they pick the mule up, and they ride the mule on their shoulders. They're carrying the mule. Well, they get to this swinging bridge, and it's 1,000 feet to the bottom, and it's one of them old wooden bridges, It's just got this big old valley chasm across it. And they're carrying Heine the mule across the bridge, and they hit a slick spot on the boards. And they slip, and guess what? There goes Heine the mule off the side of the bridge 1,000 feet down, crashes, and is killed dead. Because when you're killed dead. Now there is a mule to this, but there's also a moral to this story. And you know what that moral is? If you try to please everybody, you will lose your Heine. And they lost their Heine. So don't try to please everybody. Just do what the best thing is and listen to God.